What's up, PV Clan? Alex SB here, and welcome back to the next episode of the Pokemon Red Randomized Nuzlocke, where in today's episode we are going to be fighting this trainer. But not only that, we are going to be getting to FUCHSIA City. It's city. The city that we're trying to get to is past this trainer because we've been going down this route for a while now. It's a very long route with a lot of twists and turns. Maybe it's multiple routes, I don't even know. I haven't gotten any encounters on either of these routes, so if they are different routes, then I will have a bunch of encounters to get. If they are just one route, that's fine. I get a new encounter that I haven't gotten yet. So, hey kid, come on, I just got these. Because I have the option to go get an encounter on like the water route. I don't know if that's I don't know if that's this route. I don't know if like all these routes are one route or if they're like separate routes just because they're like separate types of locations. Because basically to get from Lavender Town, which I'm coming from, to FUCHSIA City, you have to take quite a path, because FUCHSIA is like at the bottom of the region, while Lavender is like in the upper right-hand corner of the region. So you have to sort of go down, go around, take a route, take another route, take another route. So you have to go down, around, take a route to the left, go down again, and around again in order to get to FUCHSIA. So basically, how you do that is you go down a water route, which brings you down to a sort of like path route, like a bridge type of route with like bars, like metal bars around. A fence, I shouldn't say metal bars. I believe, like, I was thinking of like Pokemon Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald, where they had like that one route where it's like metal bars, and you can like, and it's like a pathway, and there's like all these trainers on it, but it's that type of thing. If y'all don't know the one I'm talking about, it's next to that one place that is like right next to Team Aqua's hideout. I don't remember the name of the town, but that should give you an idea. Is it Lily Cove? I'm not sure. Yeah, Lily Cove Department Store, I think, because that's the place where it has the department store. I remember Lily Cove Department Store, so I imagine that town is called Lily Cove. So yeah, like there's a route like right next to Lily Cove where it's just like metal bars, and like trainers are like in between them, and you have to like go through the different, like there's different layers of it. There's like different paths. It's like one route that is just like a straight line with like all these different paths that are divided by metal bars. So it's basically like that. One big long route divided by that goes in a straight line divided by fences rather than metal bars in this case. But yeah, basically the same general idea. And you have to go through that, and then you head down from there, and it's a long pathway of just like a whole lot of nothing, quite honestly, which brings you down to here, where I'm currently going to the left, which is a pathway to the left with lots and lots of trainers. So there's a bottom section here. There's like this like straight away to the town or city, I guess. What is the difference between town and the city? I don't really know. I guess city is just more like more buildings, like metal buildings, like skyscrapers and stuff is what you call a city. Like I don't even know the definition of a like city versus town. I don't know. But anyway, in games that follow this one, Ghost is actually super effective on Psychic, but in this game, Psychic types are completely immune to Ghost type moves. So we are going to switch out Alice because this is like the one game where Alice loses this fight, maybe. I mean, Kadabra is a Psychic type, and despite the fact that Alice is a Ghost type, they are also a Poison type, so in future games, maybe Alice would still lose, but then again, this Kadabra is only level 25, so I can't imagine it has any good Psychic type moves anyway. I feel like if it did, it would have gone for it, or maybe it was just stupid, and saw the teleport was Psychic and went for the Psychic type move, knowing it was super effective, even though it had, just saw it, oh, it's super effective, and went for it, even though it didn't actually do any damage. Maybe it had damaging Psychic type moves, and the AI was just dumb. I don't know. Why not? But, that guy did, that's one down. It's another one down. Onto this one. Fork over all your cash when you lose to me, kid. So this guy is trying to rob me. This is what we in the business call highway robbery, because he's got a motorcycle, except we're not really on a highway. It's just kind of a long urban? I don't know. I don't even know what urban means. It's a long grassy path, okay? I don't know if urban is city or town. Once again, I don't really know my city and town terminology. But, I know there's like urban and rural are the terms, but I don't know which one is which. But yeah, in the last episode, basically we made our way through the metal bar part of like the path down to Fuchsia. And during that episode, I talked a lot about Super Mario Odyssey, which I plan on doing again in this episode because I don't know, Super Mario Odyssey is just fun to talk about. There's a lot to the game. There's a lot of stuff to dissect because all the kingdoms are just so different and there's like so many elements to it. There's like quite a bit of variation in bosses, so, and like obviously the worlds themselves, because the kingdoms are all very unique. You've got everything from like a desert filled with skeletons who play maracas and wear sombreros to like a spot on the moon with a tower that's a carrot which has evil rabbits in it, to like a poison, to like an island in a poison ocean on which a kleptomaniac bird lives. So you have a lot of different like locations in Super Mario Odyssey that are all wildly different. So it just gives me a lot to talk about in regards to the game. And speaking of, I figure I might as well start with the Lost Kingdom, because it's very. I think that it's quite interesting how they sort of make the Metro Kingdom, better known as New Dunk City, a climax of the game, because I feel like it's like the thing about Metro Kingdom is that it is a site which was used a lot in advertising for the game, because it is admittedly quite impressive, especially by Mario standards, because in Mario you're used to a lot of like natural looking locations, like a grassland and a desert and snowy plains. What we're not used to is Mario walking around in a full-on cityscape, which is what the Metro Kingdom is. Obviously, Metro being short for like metropolitan type of thing. And that can't be true. Yes, it is, actually, to my knowledge. And basically, what is very interesting about the Metro Kingdom is that Mario in the Metro Kingdom is meeting humans, which, to anyone who has watched like the Mario TV shows, or like or seen like certain games and certain like certain canonicity. In certain canonicities, what I'm trying to say is, in certain canonicities, Mario is human. In most canonicities, I feel like he's human. But in the games, all of a sudden, we've been given this sort of idea that he's not by Metro Kingdom. I raise Pokemon because I live alone. Huh, interesting. Because the thing about Mario is that, if you're listening, his origins are odd in the way that they're inconsistent. Because sometimes he's a plumber who went into a pipe that led him to the Mushroom Kingdom. A plumber growing up in New York City, and who worked there until he found this magical pipe that brought him to a new land. In other pieces of media, such as the Yoshi's Island series, he is a baby born in the Mushroom Kingdom, dropped off on Yoshi's Island by the stork. I shouldn't say dropped off, more like, who fell from the sky when the stork got attacked by Kamek and Baby Bowser. But yeah, in some contexts, in some pieces of media, he is depicted as a normal human plumber who came across the Mushroom Kingdom while plumbing, and in other instances, he is depicted as a child of the Mushroom Kingdom who was destined to become its hero. I didn't ask for this, but yeah. So that's where it gets really confusing, because in the movie, obviously, which is quite recent, they went with the obvious, like, the one that makes the most narrative sense, which is that he and his brother are actually plumbers living in what is presumably New York City. Let me try out the Pokemon I just got in a trade. But, however, in Super Mario Odyssey, we seem to... Mario is meeting Pauline. Mario is once again meeting with Pauline, who is like the character in... So basically, Mario's first appearance, in case y'all don't know, was as a character named Jumpman in the old arcade classic Donkey Kong, in which Donkey Kong kidnaps a woman named Pauline and keeps her and like takes her up to the top of a construction site, which Mario, in this case Jumpman, as he's called in this game, must climb up in order to rescue the girl. Obviously, in future games starring Mario, he is instead saving a princess in Mushroom Kingdom, which is in an entirely different world. He is no longer in New York City, where fighting a gorilla on a construction site. Rather, he is now in Mystical Kingdom, fighting a giant fire-breathing turtle dinosaur in order to save a princess. So yes, it is very different, but it is still the same overall concept of Mario is a guy who jumps, whose main characteristic is that he jumps, and he is trying to save a woman. Only in the case of like the Super Mario Bros. Games, rather than what was going on in Donkey Kong, where he had to jump over things, that was his goal. He was trying to dodge things in order to get up to Donkey Kong. Instead, in Super Mario Bros. And most other titles involving Mario, he is actually trying to jump on enemies in order to kill them, in order to smush them. Because obviously that is the child-friendly solution for killing enemies that Nintendo went with. But yeah, so it is very cool that they were able to bring back this character, Pauline, which we hadn't seen in a very long time. However, it does raise some questions with Super Mario Odyssey and the Metro Kingdom. Not good enough. It does raise a few questions, such as, why are these people so tall in comparison to Mario? Because yes, we know that Mario is on the shorter side compared to his brother, but he is like 5'2", to my knowledge. Like, he is not that short. He's not like that short. Like, he is short, but he's not a freaking gnome. He's not a dwarf. Like, my birds are shivering. You're good, aren't you? But yeah, he's much shorter than Luigi for sure, but 5'2". But to our knowledge, he is 5'2", which is like short, but not to the point that it is depicted in Super Mario Odyssey. Absolutely, it is crazy how it's depicted in Super Mario Odyssey. He seems to be, the people in Metro Kingdom seem to be like over twice his size in some cases. And Mario being 5'2", this just doesn't make any sense, because that means these people are 10'4" and up. 10 feet tall. So it stands to reason then that these people are either really tall, or Mario's heights are wrong and he's actually really short. He is not 5'2". I am going to go with, obviously, the more obvious answer. The answer that makes the most sense to me, which is that these heights are not, in fact, what Mario's actual height is. I don't think Mario is 5'2". I think that Mario has to be shorter, certainly. And that these people have to be normal people size. Mario cannot be normal people size. Of course, that's what that means. If these people are the size of normal people, which we are assuming that they are, because why would they be 10 feet tall? And then we also have to assume that Mario is not normal person size, that he is quite a bit smaller than your average person, which would mean that he is not human, which would mean that Super Mario Odyssey is depicting Mario as a Mushroom Kingdom native-born child, as he was depicted in Yoshi's Island. So it starts to raise questions, because prior to this game, I'm sure many people believed that due to the old ways that Mario was being, due to like the Super Mario Bros. 3 TV show, in the games, just like in that show, he was born in New York and then came to the Mushroom Kingdom. Just as I thought. But obviously we see, like, hey, so you would think that since this is the way that it is in Super Mario Bros. 3, in the Super Mario Bros. 3 TV show, and the TV shows that follow it, like, and TV shows that follow it, like the Super Mario World TV show, that it was that way in those original games. And maybe it was. However, that would mean that the Mario that we see in the older games is a Mario that was born in New York, and the Mario we see in newer games like Super Mario Odyssey is a Mario that was born in the Mushroom Kingdom. Which means that they are two different Marios. The Mario from classic 2D Mario is different from the Mario that is in Super Mario Odyssey. That's what that would have to mean. When I whistle, I can summon bird Pokemon. And then you get to this whole new level of interest, which is... Then you get to this whole new level of confusion. Because Super Mario Odyssey just kind of broke everything, if you really think about it. Like, up until the point of Super Mario Odyssey, we have been assuming that Mario crossed over into another world by taking a pipe, and that led him to the Mushroom Kingdom. But all of a sudden, we see that the Mushroom Kingdom is part of an entire globe. A globe that looks like Earth. This planet that the Mushroom Kingdom is on looks a whole lot like Earth, which seems to suggest that the Mushroom Kingdom is actually a place on Earth. It is not like an entirely different world, like we'd been assuming. Mario did not transport himself to a new world by going into the pipe. He simply transported himself to another place in the world. So what does this mean? Is Metro Kingdom New York, or is it an entirely different... Is Metro Kingdom New York City, or is this an entirely different dimension that is completely independent from our world? Are we still in the same... Was the Mushroom Kingdom in a different dimension than the dimension that Mario came from? Is the entire is the Earth that we see in Super Mario Odyssey different from the Earth that Mario came from? In the Super Mario Odyssey universe, which may or may not be different from the universe in which Mario came from New York City, it may or may not be different from the... In the Super Mario Odyssey universe, which may or may not be a different universe from the original classic 2D Mario games, did Mario come from New York City, like in those games? Or was he just born in this world that seems to look like our world, but is not, because it is the world in which the Mushroom Kingdom is? Or is the Mushroom Kingdom part of the Mario version of our world? What I'm trying to ask is, the Earth that we see in Super Mario Odyssey, is it the Mario stand-in for our Earth? Or is it a different Earth entirely in which the Mushroom Kingdom is located? Because Mario was transported onto a different Earth, a whole new world by the warp pipes that he took to enter the Mushroom Kingdom. It really does throw into, like, question, where on Earth is the Mushroom Kingdom? Is the Mushroom Kingdom even on our Earth? Is it a different Earth? Does Super Mario Odyssey take place on a Mario's version of our Earth, or does it take place on in an entirely new Earth that is different from the Earth Mario came from? Did Mario even come from an Earth like ours, or did he come from the Earth that the Mushroom Kingdom is located on? Because depending on the piece of media you're looking at, the Mushroom Kingdom may or may not be in a different world than New York City. In this case, in Super Mario Odyssey, what they seem to be suggesting is that the Mushroom Kingdom and New York City are either located in the same world, or the Metro Kingdom is the Mushroom Kingdom's world's version of New York City. Want to play with my Pokemon? No, ma'am, I do not want to play with your Pokemon. You are interrupting a very important thought. But, yeah, so here is our, right up ahead, in front of this girl, is our way into Fuchsia City. And I said in the previous episode that I would not end this episode until I got to Fuchsia City. So here we are at the end of this route. There are more trainers if we go along the top side of this route, because this route is split. This little path is split. This little like straightaway is split down the middle by a like cliff, by a ledge, which obviously we can jump down, but we can't jump up. So we could not get there from here. However, I do know how to get there. What you have to do in order to get there is you have to cut down a small tree, and then you could go along the top half of this route. Which you have cut. We can do this, and it would be a good way to get more XP, I feel. However, before we do so, we should probably go heal, because our team has looked better. Let's just say that. I'm not going to say things are looking bad for us right now, but our team has looked better. And then, depending on how long this episode has been going on for, when we finish healing up, we may or may not fight those trainers after that. But anyway, going back to Super Mario Odyssey, regardless of the Metro Kingdom and what it throws into question, I will say it is just a really cool way to reference the old era of Mario, because, like, I feel like Super Mario Bros. Is so different from, like, the things before it, in which Mario was like, okay, first of all, Donkey Kong was Mario's first appearance, and in that, Mario was not even named Mario, he was named Jumpman, and some people theorize that Jumpman was actually Mario's father, because it's such a wildly different game. And they they see Mario as the person looking for Princess Peach, trying to help Princess Peach. And so they say that Jumpman is actually not Mario, it's Mario's father, and Mario's father likes Pauline, while Mario likes Princess Peach. I was too impatient. This game, Donkey Kong, which he's originally from, Mario is originally from, which I will say he's originally from, I will say that is Mario and not Jumpman. I will say that Mario and Jumpman are the same person. I will not agree that the Jumpman is Mario's father and that Mario is not Jumpman, because, put simply, Nintendo outright denied it themselves. Like, you can believe your theory if you want to think that, like, Jumpman is Mario's father and not Mario, that's fine. I can't tell you you're wrong, but I can also kind of tell you you're wrong, because they literally outright said, Nintendo outright said that that's not true. So, I'm gonna go with what Nintendo says, and I'm going to say that Jumpman is not Mario. But, sorry, the Jumpman is Mario. But, yeah, it is just so... I feel like with Mario games following Mario's original appearances, especially following Donkey Kong, things began to get very different. And, I'm going to heal right now, actually, because you know what, no, I'm not gonna waste any more healing items. I'm just gonna use the antidote, because that is less costly than using a super potion. We're gonna use that one antidote, freeing up a slot in our bag, while also allowing us to live long enough, allowing our golem here to live long enough to get back to the Pokemon Center without dying, which is great. But yeah, it is just so, like, Donkey Kong is very different from what would follow it. Like, Donkey Kong is very different from Mario Bros. And even Mario Bros. Is very different from Super Mario Bros. Like, the farther away we got from Mario's origins, the less and less it actually seemed to relate back to Mario's origins. In fact, Donkey Kong, after Mario became the gaming icon that he grew to be, Donkey Kong got his own series. He got Donkey Kong Country. So that's where so after Mario and Donkey Kong both got their big breaks sort of the same way, Donkey Kong and Mario ended up getting, like, entirely different series. Both, mind you, based off of platforming, but they are now, like, entirely different series. And let's just say one is doing a heck of a lot better than the other, because when was the last time you saw a Donkey Kong Country game came out? Yeah, that's what I thought. But, yeah, it is just so cool to see, like, these old games that are like the origins of Mario referenced in modern Mario, because I feel like we just haven't heard about them. We hadn't heard about them in like so long before Super Mario Odyssey, and then all of a sudden, like, characters like Pauline and like the old and good old, like, and all of a sudden then Pauline is back in the spotlight. Like, we hadn't heard about Pauline for ages. It's to the point where people like you'd think Nintendo just like forgot about them, I guess, but finally Pauline reappears in Super Mario Odyssey, and it's so cool to see, like, because last time we saw her, it was, graphics were terrible, you know, we couldn't, like, even identify, like, really what she looks like, but now we have, like, an actual 3D depiction of Pauline, and I feel like that's so cool, that we get to see, like, the first girl that Mario ever saved, because since then, obviously, since Pauline, he's gone and saved Peach a bunch of times, obviously, but he's also saved Daisy, he's also, saved probably someone else that I'm forgetting, he saved a bunch of pixies, but, like, that was the first person Mario saved, you know? Like, both canonically, I think, and in terms of actually the games, like, in the order of games. So it's nice to get this throwback and see what Pauline looks like in modern Mario style. What's cool? Training Pokemon! But yeah, also just, like, all the street names and, like, avenues named after Donkey Kong characters are really cool, because, like I said, after Mario and Donkey Kong, after the Donkey Kong game, after Mario, like, sort of split off from the Donkey Kong game, like the classic Donkey Kong arcade game, Mario and Donkey Kong did have some other games together, but for the most part, Mario and Donkey Kong sort of became, like, separate series. Like, Mario and Donkey Kong are in a lot of the same games, especially, like, the party games, you know, Donkey Kong is in, like, Mario Party, and, like, Mario Kart, and, like, Mario Sports, Mario Sports games of all kinds. I said trade! He's in, like, all that stuff, but, like, who's not as often in Mario games are other Donkey Kong characters, because Mario and Donkey Kong sort of became these, like, entirely different game series. And so it's just cool to see, like, Donkey Kong characters actually referenced in Mario. Because where else do you see Squawk? Do you see references to Squawks or Rambi in Mario? You don't, because they're Donkey Kong characters. But Donkey Kong and Mario were once part of the same franchise, part of the same series. So it makes sense that they would be at least referenced in a Mario game, and it's nice to see that they were. And it's like all these references to Donkey Kong characters, and to top it all off, a reference to the classic Donkey Kong arcade game, which Mario is from, in the form of the New Donk City Festival, in which it's like a whole reenactment of the old game, in which Mario has to jump over barrels and make his way slowly up the girders to Donkey Kong. It is just so great. It is wonderful. It is a fantastic throwback, and a wonderful return to form that they did. I don't know how to get this Pokeball, and, how do you get this Pokeball? Seriously, like, how, though? But Voltorb. Oh, you don't get this Pokeball. This Pokeball is a Pokemon. The very image of a Pokeball. Oh, look, that gives you the Pokedex entry. That's cool. So, yeah, anyway, having looked at the Voltorb, I'm gonna end this episode here. Thank you all so much for watching, Eevee Clan, and make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. This is Alex Espion, signing off.